The Mexico Grand Prix offers North America's cheapest F1 ticket. Mexico, Mexico! And it's a race known for having fans that are quite literally out of control. We're flying halfway across the world armed only with Mexico's cheapest F1 ticket to figure out, is there a reason this ticket is so cheap? Is it possible to attend an F1 race on a tight budget? And are Mexican F1 fans a little bit too passionate? Yes. Have we discovered an F1 bargain?
You can't get much closer than this.
Or have we spent thousands on flying to a race only to realise we should have bought a better ticket?
This is very alarming.
This story of two F1 fans might have ended up in one of the world's most populated cities, but it all started back in the UK.
Good morning. It is F1 race week and we are in Manchester Airport. We've just arrived and we are flying all the way from Manchester to Mexico City.
The Mexico City race is entirely new territory for us, so we have no idea what to expect when we get there. Things weren't as cheap as we thought they were going to be when it came to flights and hotels, but I think we're going to do a pretty good job of this weekend.
Max Verstappen!
The flights that we've got today are £700 per person return, and we did book them quite far in advance. And we're going to be there a couple of days before race weekend starts so we can soak up the Mexican atmosphere. But it wasn't all going to be plain sailing, because of course we have
the cheapest ticket for this race.
And this ticket comes with two potential problems.
The fans are said to be extremely rowdy.
Mexico! Mexico! ¡Qué terrible!
It looks crazy.
And secondly,
the common thing about this ticket is that people never get it the second year that they go. So I don't know what that says about the ticket that we have, but it doesn't sound great.
But most importantly, I'm excited to see all of the drivers in massive sombreros. But all of these drivers will be phony hombres because, of course, the only actual Mexican driver is currently unemployed.
After all I've done for him, it's a bit disappointed to him.
It is now time to get on board our flight, and it's a good time to tell you, why are we doing this? F1 is known for being a sport for the rich and famous, but we believe all travel experiences can be done on a budget. So last year, we put this to the ultimate test by attending the two most expensive races in Monaco and Vegas. But because we're from the UK, the home of motorsport, we want to experience the race with supposedly the most passionate fans of all. To figure out if Mexico's cheapest ticket is an F1 no-brainer or an F1 ripoff.
Everyone, please prepare for landing. We are now on our descent.
The Eagle has landed
In the world's sixth largest city.
And the Mexico City Grand Prix is go! Checo Perez trying to go around the outside, he's made contact! He's made contact with Charles Leclerc into the first corner!
Arriba!
We have arrived in Mexico City, but before we do anything else, we need to show you where we are staying for the Formula One weekend, because accommodation is not actually as simple as it sounds here. By population, Mexico City is more than double the size of London. So even though the list of hotels is fatter than Lawrence Stroll's wallet, because of the F1 fans flocking to the city, and the fact that we're just 7 days away from Day of the Dead, which is the biggest annual holiday here in Mexico, there are a few things you should know. If you're interested in fancy hotels and potentially spotting an F1 driver, you might want to stay in an area called Polanco. This is the posh neck of the woods, and this is where hotels can get very pricey. But we're here on a budget, and we decided to hotel hop between two different accommodations.
One is budget in a hostel, and the second is a more mid-range option
In an area called Condesa.
So first things first, we're going to show you what a budget room looks like here. This is a hostel, but it doesn't mean that we'll be in bunk bed. And before we tell you what the price is, we're going to check in.
Not much of a view.
Welcome to my crib.
So this hostel does offer dormitory rooms, but we have gone for a private room.
Which comes with our own bathroom, and the decor in here is very stylish.
What kind of yellow would you describe this?
Millennial yellow. The best part so far is that it seems to be very social.
So if you're here to make friends, this is a great place to stay.
The main benefit of staying here is the price. It is £40 a night, And on a race weekend, you're not really in your hotel room.
So this is perfect after a long day of watching Yuki get outperformed by his junior team. But what would you get if you stretch your budget a little further? We book all of our hotels on hotels.com and Expedia. And the reason we do this is because we can earn one key cash on our bookings, which we then use on future stays to get free and discounted rooms. So I'm now on the rooftop of a mid-range option in Condesa. Before I tell you the price, let's head downstairs and check out the room. Hello there. So this place isn't what I would describe as a hotel room. It's more like a fully fledged Mexico City apartment. You've got a living area, you've got a kitchenette. You know you're in a fancy place when you get 3 bottles of wine with the room. But the most important thing is, how much does a mid-range hotel like this cost in Mexico City?
This hotel, bearing in mind that it is race weekend, was £120 a night.
And with that said, it means we have a bit of extra cash to be able to go and spend on margaritas and tacos. Race weekend starts tomorrow. With the cheapest ticket to Friday practice just a few hours away and accommodations sorted, all of the hotels that we'll stay in for our F1 trips are actually saved in our Expedia Travel Shop. So if you are traveling to an F1 race next year, or you're just visiting the city, go and check out our Expedia Travel Shop, and all of our favorite hotels are there in one place. We had just enough time to do as the Mexicans do.
We're gonna go and have some tacos. This place has very good reviews. This is my dream destination.
As we tucked into the best tacos we'd ever eaten,
They're perfect.
we suddenly realized something about F1 in Mexico that was very surprising and something we definitely were not expecting.
Cheers.
Oh, that is punchy.
Unlike some of the other races that we have been to, we have hardly seen any F1 fans. It's almost as though the race weekend isn't happening.
The problem is, Mexico City is so big. There is probably a lot of crazy fanatic F1 fans here, but they're so diluted amongst the rest of the population that you don't really get that atmosphere that you do at some of the other races.
Usually when we travel for the F1, even the bars and restaurants will have flags up, there'll be special F1 menus, but there's been none of that so far.
But as they say, tomorrow is a new day, and I'm sure we'd find some Mexican F1 fans somewhere. F1 friends, please respond to us. It is Friday, and we are about to head to the circuit. But first, we are just getting a coffee from this little hole in the wall.
I'm having my coffee now before we get to the circuit because I remember how expensive they were at the Hungarian Grand Prix.
10 euros for a coffee. There are 2 main ways of getting from the city to the circuit. Number 1 is you can get an Uber, but the cheapest way of getting there is the metro. So that is what we're going to try today.
Ooh, has a very distinct smell down here. Tobacco.
After struggling a few times with the metro barriers, we got a sample of the local patience and generosity. An incredible act of kindness come our way. So this guide was just like, oh, don't worry about it. You can just use my metro card, and just swiped us straight through. So we're on the metro for free.
Imagine in London.
It's actually the opposite of London. As we boarded, we expected to be surrounded by other F1 fans. But to our surprise, we were the only F1 fans in our carriage.
We haven't seen any other F1 fans. Like, where are they all? Are we staying in the wrong area?
20 minutes later, we are here. Again, there's still not many fans around. As far as I can see at the moment, we are the only ones. Don't know what the whistles mean. But then, out of nowhere, our first sighting of some other F1 fans. This circuit is slap bang in a very busy part of Mexico City.
This is like the biggest police and security presence that I've seen at any race.
There are more security guards and police than there are actual F1 fans right now. That's not an exaggeration.
From what I can see so far, there is no chance of seeing the track here without a ticket.
And I've also just spotted they are already selling Cadillac merch for next year, because obviously Checo Perez is Mexican and he will be racing for that team next year, so they're getting ahead of the game.
There are 6 different zones here at this circuit, and the one that we're in, general admission, appears to be the smallest of all of the zones.
Yellow looks big, blue looks big, green looks big, orange looks small.
So unlike Silverstone, unlike Hungary, where you actually get free roam of the whole track and the outside, this is a little bit more like Vegas, where you have a specific zone and you go in and you can't leave. It makes sense in Vegas because Vegas is a street circuit, but this is a racetrack. I feel like you should probably get more access all the way around, but I'm not going to judge. We haven't been in yet.
This could also be our first glimpse into why people don't get this ticket again.
After a lot of searching, I think we have now found our gate.
Buenos días, bienvenidos a Fórmula 1.
Let's get inside. As we headed through the gate, we realised that all of the crazy Mexican F1 fans had already made their way inside. And having only been in the orange zone for 5 minutes, we'd already had a warm Mexican welcome. Viva la Mexico! We just met a couple of Mexican fans. One of the guys gave us his sombrero that was actually worn by Lewis Hamilton. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I want to believe it. But now it was time to take a look at what you get with Mexico's cheapest F1 ticket. This is the DJ tent. So before, during and after the race, there will be some DJs popping off in there. Over here, we have the food sections. When you think of Mexico, what sort of food do you envisage? You envisage tacos, burritos, fajitas. I didn't expect to see a lasagna van here. As well as the food trucks themselves, we've also got a lot of sort of street vendors just roaming around the place with products on their head mainly, selling them. So you've got ice creams, popcorn, and these weird potato chips, which I think are called papas. And they seem really popular, so we're gonna have to try those at some point.
So this is the park area where there's lots of benches and it's fully in the shade. So people are just having a drink here, having snacks, taking shelter from the sun.
I think my highlight of this area is the mariachi band. And the cool Mexican people that I got to take a photo with.
Viva la Mexico!
Some of the races that we've been to, even in general admission, we've been told that locals don't necessarily go because they're still so overpriced. That was definitely the case in Hungary. Whereas here, I get the impression that most people with this general admission ticket are from Mexico.
Okay, we are now walking towards what I believe is the end of the orange zone. So it is a really small section of the course. Apart from the stand, there is nowhere else to watch Formula One cars on track. This is it. This is our cutoff point. We can't go any further than this. And after a good initial impression of the area, we started to see a few things that really concerned us.
In order to buy any food or any drink, we have to queue up here and get a special card.
I don't like this system at all. That is a shocker from Mexico.
And we have seen a few of these pop up at different races, but it's never been compulsory. But here, you have to do it. You can't pay on contactless anywhere. And we can't pay on card, we have to pay with this. I kind of understand why they do this because it could be very dangerous. This now doesn't feel like real money.
But after topping up £50 onto a non-refundable lanyard, it was time to splash out on the world's best product.
This is the most important test of all. We are about to find out how much a beer costs at the Mexico Grand Prix. Do you have any guesses? So the only beer that you can get at this race is a Heineken because Heineken are the lead sponsor of the Mexico Grand Prix. Hola, on Heineken. ¿Me regalan una sencilla, por favor? Not bad. It might be up there with the cheapest Formula One beer. This is £4.20. We've had a lot more expensive than that.
It is now time. We have seen it in the distance, but we are now going to go and check out the cheapest ticket at the Mexico Grand Prix. What does it get you? What view do you get? What the atmosphere is going to be like? They're all questions we don't know yet, but we're about to find out.
I can already tell it's going to be hot up there. There is no shade.
As we headed to take our seats for FP1, we had no idea what to expect. But what we did know, every row has a number, every seat has a number, and you actually have to sit in your specific row and seat. For the grand price of this ticket, this is what you get. You get this slither of metal bench with a view of the cars that looks like that. And one word of warning, when it's this hot and your stand doesn't have any shade, don't wear short shorts.
Fucking hell, bumps just there. They are so hot.
3rd-degree burn on the butt cheek. The cheapest ticket in Mexico City. This is what it gets you.
The the seats. What do I think about the seats? They're not the comfiest seats that I've seen.
They're a little underwhelming. They're not actually seats, they're just metal benches with a Sharpie drawn on them. There is no shade and it is absolutely sweltering. And you're not allowed to bring umbrellas in because it impairs the vision of the people behind you. Should we go and see from these seats how close to the track you can actually get? So let's go. You have to be quite fit and able-bodied to get up and down this stand. Like if you had a bad leg or a jippy knee, this is not the stand for you. These steps are enormous. This is how close to the track you can get. That is extremely close, I would say. We're gonna head to the top of the stand now and see what we can see from the top. Now I'm at the top here, there is a nice breeze coming through. So ideally you want to be sat at the top of this stand.
It's not the most impressive of views. You don't see a lot of track, but then you don't pay a lot of money for this ticket. But if you are sat here for the full 3 days, and it's as hot as this without any shade, it's going to be a tough 3 days.
With a very mixed review of our seating arrangements for the weekend, we found ourselves having to leave the stands. I feel like I'm overheating just sat here.
Same, like I need to go and sit in the shade for a minute.
Yeah, we're gonna go and sit in the shade. We're gonna leave the stand quickly and go and sit in the shade because it's not good for us. We managed 7.5 minutes of free practice 1 before we've had to leave the stands. It's just sweltering. And then things went from bad to worse. This is very alarming. This is the queue to go and take your seat. Cars are currently on track for FP1 on Friday, and I'm looking at a huge snaking line of people waiting to get to their seats. So the fact that there are select seats that you have to sit in means that it takes longer to get into the stand. And I personally believe it is unacceptable to have cars on track and to still be queuing to get to your stand. Like, that shouldn't happen. That's so basic. FP1 will be finished before these people get to their seats. That is shocking. Besides the long queues for the stands and the fact that there was no shade,
It's not their fault, it is just because it's so hot.
there were some other things missing. Normally you get to see the Drivers' Championship trophy. You also get a whole array of different fan zone activities like eSims, and you can change a tyre on an F1 car. There isn't much of that. There is a reactions game, but that, I think, is the only game in this section. If you were in this section for 3 whole days, there is a very good chance you would get bored. So we need to make our own fun. And today's activity is I am going to hide 4 of these mini Lego F1 cars around the general admission zone. And then I'm going to come back on race day and I'm going to see if they're still there. First one is hidden. F1's Mr. Beast. Next one is getting hidden right next to the DJ. We're going to go for this sign here. This is probably the most obvious one. Final one, and I know exactly where it needs to go. I'll slip it there. Ooh, what the hell was that?
What happened to you?
It was like a lizard. That is the final Lego car hidden. We will come back on Sunday, see if they're still there.
This is the cheapest ticket that you can get to this race, and it might be up there with one of the cheapest tickets on the whole of the calendar. So for this 3-day ticket in general admission, it costs £140. I mean, do you think that's good?
North America's cheapest F1 ticket had left us feeling a little underwhelmed. The zonal system and lack of viewing spots were disappointing, and the absence of a driver stage, F1 fan zone activities, and prepaid lanyard system reminded us of something we'd read before we'd even left home. We read online that no one gets this ticket 2 years in a row, and I've just become a cliche. I think I'm now thinking the same thing that I read online. But as we headed back to the city, we had a decision to make on what to do with the rest of our weekend. Good morning, race fans. It is Sunday, it is race day. Lando Norris is on pole. Things are looking good. But we have a decision to make today because we were a little underwhelmed by the general admission ticket here in Mexico. And we have traveled quite a long way to be here. So we're gonna get a coffee and we're gonna mull over our options.
We need to decide where to watch the race from today. So we can of course watch it from general admission, but we have seen that there are some last minute tickets available in the grandstand. And the cool thing about that is that we can then see what the difference is between general admission and a grandstand, and if it's actually worth the extra money for that seat.
This decision is too big for us to make. So whatever the poll on Instagram says is what we will do. What is the current standings?
It's very close, but at the minute the grandstand is slightly winning. But that could change. So we're going to finish our coffees, we're going to make our way over to the circuit, and then we'll have a look and see what the result is.
Today we have decided to get an Uber to the track. It's costing £11, and in theory this is actually the worst it will be because it's peak time on race day. So we're going to compare the Metro versus an Uber.
A few moments later.
Okay, we are now out of the Uber. The traffic was so bad, it took 33 minutes to get this far, but it's now just gridlock, and he said that it'd be quicker just to walk it. So that's what we're doing.
There has been such a change in atmosphere today. You can tell that it is race day.
First up, we're going to head to the general admission area, speak to some fans, see how they're feeling on race day, and then we're going to have to make a decision about this grandstand ticket. Hola.
Hola, ¿qué tal? My name is Jorge.
And what is her name?
She is Tammy.
Are you from Mexico City?
Sí. Yes. No.
So you travel for the Formula One?
Yes.
Why is Hasbulla in a Red Bull outfit?
Because I love Hasbulla and I love Red Bull.
Who is your favorite driver?
Max Verstappen.
For history, Hamilton.
Do you think he'll be world champion again?
Yes. Max Verstappen.
Do Mexico have the best F1 fans?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Latino, Mexican, el ambiente is unique in the world.
Es the best in the world.
Why?
Todos somos muy ruidosos, gritamos todo.
Very passionate.
Yes.
Always every year Formula One is the big deal in Mexico City.
Passion.
Appreciate that.
Mexico.
Thank you for having me. Viva la Mexico! Okay, we're back at the general admission zone entering, and surprisingly, there is no queue right now, so that's a happy surprise. And I think the first thing I want to do is I want to see if any of my Lego F1 cars are still where I put them. This one has gone. That was probably the most obvious one, so I expected that to go. Let's see if this one has gone. Number 2, also gone.
That one was well hidden as well.
This one has also gone. Things aren't looking good for this one either. So there you have it. They are all gone, which is good because it means that 4 people have had a nice little F1 treat at the Mexico Grand Prix. If you were one of the people that found them, let us know in the comments. Okay, so the atmosphere in the orange zone today is electric and I'm having a really good time. But the Instagram poll has spoken.
And it looks like we are going to a grandstand. So I'm going to try and book the tickets now, but the majority of votes, in fact there's barely any for general admission.
So we're going to buy that now and we're going to head over to the grandstand.
Oh wow, some have actually gone. Are we definitely doing this?
So we have the tickets. Let's head to, what zone is it now? The green zone.
The green zone.
As we left the orange zone, we were told there was no re-entry. We are now $400 down each. So we were now all in on our grandstand ticket. This better be worth it. And initial impressions were pretty good.
La cerveza más mexicana del mundo. Vamos a continuar con esta canción.
Wow, we have just walked in with our tickets and already this feels very different. It looks about 5 times the size of the general admission zone. And there is an atmosphere here the second you walk in.
So the price of this ticket is considerably more, so you would expect there to be considerably more to do. Behind us, we've already got an Aston Martin car. There was no F1 replica cars, no cars at all in the orange zone. But let's go and see what else is here.
There seems to be a few things that you might see at the fan zone, like the racing simulators as well, which we didn't see in the general admission area. Oh wow, there's even a Nescafe cafe.
So we have a mariachi band playing behind us, which are a lot better than the one in the orange zone. I don't know if the budget for the mariachi is higher in this zone because you paid more, but there is a noticeable difference in quality.
It does seem that way. I think so.
So over here we have the F1 stage, and this is where the drivers come and talk to you. If you buy a ticket to an F1 race, you would expect that you would get to see drivers on stage at some point during the weekend, but if you don't have a ticket for this zone or one of the other zones at Mexico, you won't. I've never heard of this brand before, but they're called Tane, and they actually are a jewelry maker in Mexico, and they have created the driver's trophy for the Mexican Grand Prix. This is quite an important moment for the Mexican Grand Prix because we've just got some tacos and we know what good tacos taste like because we tried them. earlier in the video, but how do the F1 tacos stack up?
Sensational. They're so good. This might be the best thing that I've eaten at a Formula One race. 170 pesos, which I don't know what that is.
But once Jade had finished her tacos, the moment we'd been waiting for was upon us.
It is now time to go and check out our seats and see if it was worth coming over to the grandstand or if we should have just stayed in general admission.
I think we found the entrance to our seat. As we headed inside the stand, we are inside the cauldron. There were seating areas and bars full of F1 fans, all excited for the race to start, apart from these two. Could you imagine coming to an F1 race and falling asleep?
Mexico, we were told you had the most passionate fans. These ones are asleep. They're sleeping.
We are in Grandstand 1, which means we are on the start-finish line. We have a concern that this grandstand might not actually have shade, so we might actually be in a similar position that we were in general admission, where we're getting sizzled. But there was no going back. It was time to head up the stairs, take our seats, and see what kind of view we had. But first, we were rudely interrupted by the Mexican national anthem and a colourful flyover. The grid is getting ready for the formation lap, and we have an insane view of the drivers getting ready to get into their cars.
Well, we're 4 rows from the front.
The DJ that is playing on the grid. We are not in the shade, unfortunately, so my nose is going to be like Sir Alex Ferguson by the end of the day. I think it's worth it. These seats are unbelievable. We are opposite the paddock, so we can see the start-finish line and also all of the garages, so we will be able to see every pit stop as it happens. You think it's worth it so far?
I mean, I have just watched Oscar Piastri step into his car.
I'm so close. I can smell Oscar's didgeridoo. As the lights went out and Lando got a rare strong start, we got another taste of the passionate Mexican fan base. And even though we did have to leave our seats after the first few laps to avoid getting sunstroke, oh, that heat is crazy out there.
This must be the hottest race on the F1 calendar.
There were shaded areas right next to the track to watch all of the action. You can't get much closer than this. Did we lose our heads choosing these tickets? And should we have just stuck it out in general admission? Let us know what you think in the comments. But in terms of the Mexican Grand Prix, with the cheapest tickets in North America and passionate fans creating a unique energy, for us, this race is an F1 no-brainer. What an amazing race that has been. But we have been keeping a secret. On Saturday, we were invited to go to the Paddock Club and experience Mexico City's most expensive ticket.
So in the next video, that is where we will be.
See you there.